Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining us over here. We're going to do a different type of reading today. Not necessarily a reading, but just I wanted to go through the major arcana cards, especially, and kind of show you in case you were following along and I was like, I don't see what she's seeing. It doesn't really make a huge difference. Like, I think that however the person that is reading speaks the language, their interpretation is what goes. So don't be like me and second and third and 97th guess everything that you hear once you see that card and you feel the red flags. So that's your trigger warning, is that some of these have better connotations than traditional tarot reading style, and some of them have worse ones. In this case, they're mostly the same, but later on, we're going to get into some of the cards that have double meanings depending on what the rest of the spread is talking about. But, you know, we got to start somewhere. Generally, we use the Rider-Waite Tarot. This is a different one. This is Corinne Kenner's Foresight Tarot. So this is like before, but I use it the same way. Again, we're free spirits here. We're not really looking for the one way that works for everybody, because you'll be looking a really long time. So anyway, oof, the thirst, guys, water. Sorry if there's misophonia going on, but she's parched. Anyhow, back to this. I'm going to go ahead and use my old deck. You never see this one. And we're going to get into what everything means. First one here, we've got the Fool. Okay, so with the Fool, it talks about assumptions. It's about, you know, a total beginner going off into a wilderness for the first time, unknown terrain. So it's all about beginners and being carefree. This is one of the cards where the dog is going crazy, the person's like not prepared for anything, like just living life, and sometimes that's how you need to be. So this card often says, why worry? It can also say mean to forget about something or to make assumptions. This is one of those that really depends, because let's see, other than assuming things, I lost my train of thought. Great. Not noticing? I have no idea what that says. I'll have to look at my notes again. But you know all you need to know. It tends that nothing bad will happen to this person. It's one of those cards where, yeah, God protects fools and drunks, they say, and the Fool does okay. I'm gonna put this kind of close off too. That's the wrong card, clearly. Alrighty. Yeah, I should have done this another way out. Doesn't matter. Okay, so next we've got the Magician, and this is the person who does actions. It says to start things, and if you'll notice, this person's got all of the elements. It can be manifesting something. That's exactly what he's doing. It's just about, you know, being knowledgeable and control. You see he's got that infinity symbol above his head. It's inspired action for sure. Okay, now for the High Priestess. She is someone who is knowledgeable. She's also, if you'll notice, sitting still, probably quiet. She is someone spiritual or someone knowing. So now, in the case of some readings, like if you're to be asking about another woman, this would be her, because we're supposed to imagine her, kind of being a side chick waiting by the phone sort of thing. Not always. It can just denote secrets or being on another plane. Just put it where it fits. It's like we always say with the general readings, is take it how it resonates. Why can't I talk? Okay. Yeah, so with her, it's generally, something that's just like sacred, or, just like, it's a whole vibe. She's just carrying all of her symbols of spirituality, of knowledge, and, kind of a just and knowing person. So I'll say a way that I've seen it show up is when you ask who a certain person is and this one shows up, that's like, you know who it is. You know who it is. So, and you will know. The thing about it is you can look at as many of these as you want, and eventually the card meanings start to stick in your head, but the ones that stick for you or the ones that pop up at the time, first answer is always the best. So I can't say enough not to overthink it. There she goes, High Priestess. She never overthinks things. Third, we've got the Empress. She is super fertile, loving. She's even a bit naughty because according to the method that we're using over at Tarot Verbatim, this little Valentine here is kind of like, I don't want to upset YouTube, like them naughties that you can pick up at like the magazines. I know people are using their phone nowadays, but just, use your imagination. It is a corn of graphic type of imagery that she's holding. She's got the babies to prove it, but if you look out here, like there's a symbol for femininity here. She is surrounded by abundance. So every time you see her, she's the darling, she's the good looking lady. It can also denote pregnancy, but in general, readings of mine have meant her to be someone's darling wife, or a resource at work, just somebody who knows and just has all, like, just everything. But these are children here, so if you are not looking for the type of career where people cannot have any sort of independence, this will not be it. Say you're looking to start your own business and this card comes up for your business partner, somebody might be looking to, sit on your lap and chill while you do all the work. I'm just saying. But overall, abundance, and it's a great card to see. We love to see it. Now we've got her counterpart here, and that is the Emperor. So we've talked about him already. He is an authority. He's somebody who is a seasoned master. He's been through a lot of battles, so you see he's in mostly plain clothes, but he's got his armor on underneath. He's got one good fight left in him. This can mean just an old person, because he's old. So you'll come to know, like, if you ask the question correctly, you'll know who everybody is supposed to represent. Yeah, that's our guy, the Emperor. And they're definitely together. Okay. Now we've got the Hierophant. Some people say hierophant. This is about conformity, definitely. It's about being legitimate, so it can denote marriage a lot. It's also about being, part of, again, the legit public. So we can see that as like a church or some sort of establishment. It's people following the rules and doing what they're supposed to. So it means a lot for law and order, and just the good people. Okay, now we've got the lovers. Kind of an Adam and Eve type of scene, and you see that they're, excuse me, more water. You see that they are in partnership. So it's not always about lovers. It sometimes is about being connected, or it can mean like in if you're asking something about, you know, yourself and someone else, it can mean you two. If you wanted it, that's the verbatim in tarot verbatim. It's the phrasing. I will go back through again and just do some 2-card phrases so that you can see how it all works together. But for now, it's about partnership. It's about being covered. You see that they're protected here. Everything will be fine. And yeah, it can just mean the two of them doing something together. It can also mean lovers, obviously. The lovers also means lovers. I think I'll have to put that together, but I probably won't. Anyhow. Now we've got the chariot, and this is somebody who is shown as being in control and also has a bit of a spiritual or maybe like brainy aspect to it. So it's ambition. It can definitely mean a car because he's stepping into a vehicle. It means to be responsible and to decide to do something. It's really like taking control, having a purpose, doing it on purpose. It's not, even though he's not, you know, in motion currently, it's not a passive card at all. It's just like he's got up, he's ready to get ahead. Next is the strength card. When you see the strength, obviously it means strong. I've seen it pop up to mean like I asked a random question. I was like, what is his sun sign? Just to see if I could match up with someone that I had never asked that question to. Disclaimer, it's always better just to ask the person. That's the best way to do it. But I was just playing a little game. This showed up for Leo, obviously. And I'm not going to make a lot of references to season and time. But it's a Lionsgate right now, so of course I have to mention it. It's the last day of the Lionsgate, so hopefully everybody got their wishes and strength together to get their goals. I mean, everybody who watches this channel is blessed and happy and protected and healthy, but I hope you're even getting more of that. So strength again, yeah. This lion is supposed to be aggressive. It would love to be aggressive, so this is probably her circumstance, but you see she's got that infinity symbol again, and she's about to make nice. She really doesn't care what his intentions are. Her strength says that she can handle this potential problem. So when you see just a nuts layout of all of the minds that you have to go through, and then this one is at the end. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. Like, you are skilled, you are making too much of something that you're built to handle. We've got the hermit. He can be a lot of different things. He can be sort of a counselor. It's just a guy walking in the desert. He's got his little lantern on. Well, he's about to get it on. Stop it. He is about to turn his light on with his little star of knowledge. He's so good. And he goes out into, you know, the unknown, just looking for people to help. So he can also mean a doctor. It can mean facts. He can be old man too, if you're asking about people. It's also realism. Can be kindness and friendship. But once he has that lantern lit, we know he's searching for something. So I often use it for searching. That's the biggest one that shows up often. Wheel of Fortune. So this again is one of the ones that others, I hear a lot of, okay, the wheel is turning, you see all of this is going on, it's only a matter of time until it turns again. Yeah, okay. But when you see this card, it's about getting lucky. It's about luckily something happened, or something that is destiny. You'll see like the angels for now are on top, and it's time for luck to win out. So that's how I read it. It's also an opportunity. So if you're reading about something and you're just not sure, it's like, it's probably fate intervening and everything will work out. Everything will work out anyway. You don't need me to tell you that. Okay, now we have justice, which they've got the scales of justice, and it looks like something you would see in front of a courthouse. And it can definitely mean legal proceedings, or something that is the right way. This is also a card that comes out when I am making an assumption and I need verification. It's like, that is correct. It's also something that is fair, or it could mean karma. So if you just remember legal proceedings, which will be easy, and what is right, that is justice. Okay, for the Hanged Man, he is upside down, waiting for the answers, basically. And he gets it. You see him, like, getting his little moment. So he's listening, he's realizing something for the first time. Yeah. It can also mean waiting. Let me see what I wrote here. Oh, this could mean he's having an intense feeling of something. So it's just big on perception and being able to perceive something that maybe wasn't available before. Now we've got the Death card. Back to this method, we're using words, and the Death card is one of the negators. It's got death marching in, you know, the kind of Reaper looking guy that kind of shows up in so many cultures. And it's a graveyard. There's like a death scene in the regular one. So when you see death, like, um, I've never seen it mean that someone is going to die. It's usually after some situation is over. That's why you hear people calling it the death and rebirth card, because it's like, you know how it goes. The world just doesn't empty out people because everybody died. Like, more people come in, new cycles start. Um, it's part of life. So, I mean, it can mean to the death, or it can mean that something has ended. And it's shown up for me even for a dead battery. So, in general, like I said, it doesn't mean death in the future. The only time I've seen it mean actual death was when the person was already deceased. So that's one of the meanings, but it's never like blah blah blah. Like, no. If we could just pinpoint who was gonna die and bubble wrap them, and also pinpoint the lottery numbers while we're at it, then none of this would be necessary. But no, it's like, not the cheat codes all your problems. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I'm just encouraging you not to panic. It usually, like, especially if you're in just a season and wondering how this thing keeps happening, or how this thing has gotten so crappy, death becomes a wonderful, wonderful ending to something that, needed to end. Next up, we've got here Temperance. It's okay, so we see this angel with, normally it's, part of the angel in the water, part of the angel out of the water. So it's kind of like to be involved with, it's intimacy. It can even mean a conversation. Temperance, of course, the dictionary definition would just tell you it was about balance and being able to deal with certain things gracefully. Let me see what else I wrote on here. It's been so long. Negotiate. Oh, that's right. It's a great negotiating card, because you see the, angel kind of passing things back and forth, tempering until it gets just right. So, yeah, conversations, negotiations, a social situation where you just kind of feel it out. It's got a nice energy, like of kind of like a divinely guided, balanced out energy to it. So give me a great helper. Okay, this guy. So the meanings are not nice, and I understand. First of all, it's our friends from the garden, Adam and Eve. They've gotten themselves into something that they thought looks pretty shiny and turned out to be not worth its trouble. A lot of the cards show them being not so tightly tied that they could easily get out of something. I don't know about that, to be honest. Sure, because in our interpretations, we call it also an addiction or a vice. So easy is not a good word. There's a few cards that I have small words about, because I think some of them just come off very like, they can feel like very judgmental. It's got like this dark, scary looking guy, but, you'll see that this pentacle, like meaning a human, is upside down. So it's just like some of the ailments that happen with humans. It can mean sickness. It can just mean a big problem. So if you see this one, okay, I'll tell you somewhere that was not scary that I tried, that I've seen it. It's when I was, oh yeah, I'm supposed to cover things up. It's when I was, okay, yeah, it's something that feels needed that probably isn't, or something that looks quite shiny, but will have bigger problems than it's worth. So when I've seen it in a way that's not so terrible, like mostly it's I do see it to talk about addictions or vices. Um, in this case, that I caught it, it was me asking about a new software that I really wanted to use, and this came out to mean that it had a huge problem with that, where a year from then I was going to be chained to that maker because they were going to jack up the price, or because something else is. I see it a lot for meaning, bad money moves. So it can just show you problems in advance. He's easily avoidable, and as long as you don't head down that road, it's not really something that's to be scared of. They're card stuck, people. Thanks, ESO Tarot. I have to write that one down somewhere because I don't know what she said. Like, tarot's not evil; it's card stock. Like, yeah, you can literally do divination with tea leaves. Did y'all stop drinking tea too? So, if you're watching anything and seething, you should just turn it off. Like, get it together. Speaking of, we've got the Tower here. Another card that's extremely welcome when you just want a certain situation to be over. So it can mean an emergency or something that is sudden. I see that a lot. It'll mean, suddenly, I'm having a conversation, or you have to strike. Like, it can mean something that is loud, definitely something surprising, and of course it can mean, that something, to quit something, that something is over. So those are the things. It's generally like, a bang. I can't see what I wrote there. So long ago. But that's definitely it. It's like striking or quitting or something very sudden or urgent. Ooh, the star. So the star is after the thing. Let me go back. We're going back. I don't know what to tell you. And I'm not going to edit it out either. Okay. So the main thing to notice is that the tower is something that's unsustainable. It's got to fall because it's built on sand. So if you see this, you're probably already going to know exactly what it is, and just, let it come on down so we can rebuild. For me, it's been about getting rid of things that you didn't really want in the first place. Okay, now we've got the star. It's about feeling good. We see this clothingless lady who's usually pouring the water, you know, splashing around, making a big show of it, singing, performing. It can definitely mean, you know, being an actual star. Let me see what I have here. Oh, it can mean salesmanship. The star is like when you're on. So feeling good is great, but it's like feeling good and really being in flow. That should be an addition. Then of course we have the moon, which can also act like that devil again. What we're seeing is the fabled hell scene where everything is all wacky and dogs are hanging out with lobsters, and the moon doesn't have its own light. It's using reflections from the sun, so it's talking about something that you can't, that you normally wouldn't notice. So it can be a big problem. It can be addiction, of course, um, something grieving or ill. For me, it comes up mostly as a fear card, kind of like being afraid of the dark. You see these little guys all freaking out about what's about to happen. So there's definitely some terror there. What else have we got? Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, it can just mean the dark side of something, or grieving, or illness. So if you see this one, just double check the situation. Um, run your vitamins, get your paperwork, talk to your doctor, all of that, and just make sure that everything is kosher with it. Because you definitely don't want to see this in a work reading, you know, about a new job that you want to take, and it's like the moon, like, oof. It makes me think of something that's just, it doesn't even have to be that it's a bad place to go, but it just might not be the place for you. And that's enough. Yay, next we got the sun, and it's definitely of having fun. This is of optimism, definitely. This is of enjoyment. The story is that the child here has escaped and is running away on horse, having baby's day out, basically. So it can mean, you know, a childish kind of playboy energy. Um, but in general, just like the Fool, it's not signaling that anything bad is about to happen. It's just literally being in the moment and having a good time. So we're almost, yeah, we've got two more. That's crazy going through all of those. I even had watery tea reserves. All that talking, man. Okay, so judgment. It can mean a recovery. It's that scene that's always talked about, that biblical scene of the angel calling everybody on Judgment Day. So it doesn't have to be the Bible. It can be any of the any major religion. And yeah, it's talking about the return of something. I've seen it as an apology, just kind of a shift in something. Let me see. It's usually a shift for the better. But again, you gotta look at the other cards. Because if this means that you have to redo something, maybe you don't want to do that. The trumpet here is what represents an announcement, or it can be something new. So it's kind of like generally they say what catches your eye is which one you should use, which meaning. That's marker. I've got marker all over. I tried to get it off. I really did. I don't know what you guys thinking. I don't know what you would think. Anyhow, well, it's funny that I should say that because the world, these two are Teflon. There's all this opinions and, you know, little beasties and things, and they are completely enveloped, happy, not giving a crap. So we can talk about encompassing something, so we can say all of those whatever. It can talk about not paying attention to something or to be, you know, protected. So if you're the person on the inside, then that's the place that we generally want to be, is on the inside of the protection, because I've had it come up for you know, generally paying no mind to people. So good way to live. And that's number 21. So that is it. All the major arcana cards. Generally, if you know these, I don't see any reason why a person could not just pick up and start reading. But I am going to eventually get to all of the cards. These are my, this is the deck that I learned on, so I hate to be confusing. Just remember, it's anything Rider-Waite, and in this case, the scenery, there's so much of it that you can figure out the meaning. So I would say to start there if you're starting, just to go for what's close to the original. And then as you branch out, you can start having ones that are kind of abstract and a lot of fun. For me, I just kind of stick with the old thing. I know. Just let me know in the comments or something if you're like, I'm sick of seeing your gold cards. Well, I'm like, guys, they're presentable, and you know, I had to start somewhere. So thank you for being here with me, if I haven't said that already, for being here with me for the start. Like, I don't forget. I won't soon forget these days, because compared to, you know, my feelings towards sharing before that, it was just a lot of people are not into it, and I was paying more attention to those people than to the ones who are into it. So now I'm just working on finding the collective. They will find me too, and we'll be like this, like, just, well, you know, calm down. I'm not hitting on you. I know you're fine at everything, but I'm not hitting on you. But you know, just linking up and positivity. So I'm gonna leave it there. Don't forget to do any liking, subscribing, keeping up with me, because you guys are really helping me to live in purpose. How could I forget that? I can't. Like, you guys do not get it. So I'm encouraging you. I hope that you'll have, you know, health and luck and everything, and I'm encouraging you to use these things as a tool to just, you know, peep out little directions of certain things. And in general, it's about checking in with yourself and seeing how you feel. So if you catch a certain card or a certain meaning or a reading that you didn't like, first of all, you are the person who makes the cards come out. You are the person who makes the astrology work. Like, you could move the stars. Don't worry about some, you know, card stock and math equations. None of it is really as important as you there. And I mean that, so don't laugh at me. All right, for real now. That is all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your support. Drop a comment if you are like feeling those meanings or they're completely turning your world upside down. If that happened, I'm so sorry. We are not even half into some of these kind of non-traditional ways of reading the cards, but for me, it has been the most accurate and the least likely to F up. It just, you read it how you read it and just basically wait to see. It does help in all of these cases, and I think all the readers will tell you to just write things down and notice the patterns, because for you personally, things can happen a certain way and you just want to be on top of that. So whether you're reading for other people or reading for yourself, I'm always like welcoming more opportunities to learn about all the methods. I like this one, so I'm going to keep using it, and hopefully now you see a little bit about where I'm coming from with those meanings. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you for tuning in and hearing me blab. It's fun that I get to do this. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Bye.